You know who I am, you know what I do, and you know who I do it for, and it's most certainly for you. Welcome back to another edition of The Checkup, where I, your host, Dr. Rectangle, give you your gaming news and gaming information. And a few days ago, if you may have been wondering why I haven't made any vids, I've been tired, man. You guys have worn me out. As you know, my mom's in the hospital, so I always have my phone on. I always got to make sure I have notifications, so when I try to go to sleep, catch my Z's, every now and then I might expect a buzz, my mom waking up and being like, hey, how you doing, checking in from the hospital, whatever. So I'm over here trying to count my sleeps, get real acquainted, and have my intimate time with Mrs. Pillow, and get my Z's, get my sleeps. And then all of a sudden, a tweet that I made just starts blowing up. Ding, 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 you have a new follower. Ding, 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 you have a new retweet. Ding, ding, ding. Somebody liked this tweet. And by all means, I'm glad that you are all taking to the tweet. I'm glad that you're all understanding what I was trying to convey to the masses. However, there were some people who slipped between the cracks and didn't understand what I was trying to say. So this video is for them, allowing me to elaborate with having more time allotted to me. So for those of you who haven't seen it, and for those of you who want to see it again, and for those of you who just want to have it there for reference, roll the film. If the top of these stairs marks the goal of changing gaming and its gaming climate for the better, allow me to shed some light on you for a second. You see, once you call video games art and introduce them to the world of art, you lose the right to objectively criticize them with words such as, it needs to change, for it has to fulfill. You see, those phrases imply that art has to bend to one's will. No one slapped the paintbrush out of Picasso's hand and said, you, sir, are not allowed to paint that because it offends me. Now, what was meant by this wasn't the fact that I'm trying to demonize people who critique video games because they're, oh my god, that's too lewd. I don't care if you think that. If you think a game is too lewd, too violent, oh my god, I don't see how people can even like this game for X amount of reasons, whether it has to do with your social views, whether it's religious views and your faith, or whether it's just something that you find as a taboo in and of itself. Now, if you think that about Game X, Game Y, and Game Z, you will not buy Game X, Game Y, and Game Z, and you think that it's weird and it's crazy, then by all means, you have every right to that opinion. You have every right to make that statement known and not get hit with a cultural backlash of people just being like, how dare you not like da-da-da-da-da-da for da-da-da-da reasons. That shouldn't be happening. That's not what I was trying to incite. That was not what I was trying to bring. So if anybody thought that, I'll admit, I'll apologize. Maybe I wasn't clear enough, and that's what this video is for. That clairvoyance between viewer and content uploader. What I meant are the people who have taken that passion to an umpteenth level. Those people who have no longer acknowledged the right for someone to create or have creative freedom or liberties. Basically trying to put their special sauce on everyone's creation to make it safe for them and people like them. What I mean by that is the following. If a game is rated M, and then kids were saying, no, man, that's not cool. You should take the blood and the gore out to make it rated E so we can all enjoy it. We would all be like, no, they wanted to make a rated M game because their story is about mature content. Look at Mortal Kombat. I mean, you don't want to have all of that put into a kid's game. That would be the response. That would be the rebuttal, so to speak. Because it is Ed Boon, NetherRealm Studios, and at the current moment, given how the hierarchy of development and publisher, Warner Brothers, yes, Warner Brothers, the people that made the kid cartoons, they make multiple avenues of entertainment, just in case you didn't know. PG-13 movies, rated R movies. Yeah, you don't need me to go into the whole spiel about that and what they do. If they don't want it to be for kids, it's not going to be for kids. It's going to be rated M for mature. And if your parents think that you, little Timmy, little Jimmy, little Susan, are ready for this, by all means, we'll buy you the game and we'll talk about whatever comes out of it later. So why is that relevant to the topic at hand? It's because it's their choice as a creator to create what they want. They have the right to make what they want. Now, if people don't like it, that is a-okay. They're allowed to express those opinions. However, when it comes to a point where you start saying, no, we're going to label you as racist, you're not attacking the game at this point. You're attacking the people who are behind the scenes who have made the game. How dare you take part in a racist act or a sexist act against women or against any other minority out there? You're not calling out the game. You're calling out the actual human beings who are probably some of the minority that you were talking about that got offended, who pulled in their hours, pulled in their hard work and allowed it to culminate in a production known as Dead or Alive Extreme 3 or Mortal Kombat X or whatever game is going to be labeled as insert racist, sexist, anti-religious, whatever. So the reason why my video, my tweet was made was to talk to those people specifically, because there's people out there who will actually see, oh my God, Dead or Alive Extreme 3? That game is sexist and it's misogynistic towards women. It degrades women and objectifies them and things of that nature in those critiques. If you want to say it objectifies women, bada boom, bada bing. There you go. You got it. That is your opinion. You can express that. I don't care about that. But when you start attacking the people who made the game and saying that they're sexist and that they don't have the right to create something, that's where I have the problem. Everybody has the right to create whatever they want, no matter how obscene and offensive. That's what art is. It's all about how the person, i.e. you, me, see it. It's not my job to police what gets created or to jump over so many hoops to make sure that they are shut down. It's art. If people love it, it'll sell. If they don't love it, it won't sell. However, you are allowed to critique it, much how when people in America were doing blackface art, with the jazz hands and going, woo, and yeah, and look at my big lips. Remember how people critique that? They attacked that, and they said, we don't like that. And once word got out, it started to spread, and eventually it became the norm. People didn't really like that. They thought it was a cheap shot at entertainment, it was shock value, and all in all, racism isn't right. So people wouldn't dare go and traverse that route. Now, if you want to take similar things, that's fine. But you're not attacking the art, you're attacking the people behind it by labeling something that they clearly aren't. Anyway, moving on to the next point, about that blackface. People still have the right to go out and create it. They have the right to go out and do it, because most of you social justice warriors, I didn't see a single one of you, whether I had my glasses off, because I didn't have glasses at the time what I'm about to talk about came out, or whether I had them on. My retinas nor my spectacles could pick you up on my radar when Tropic Thunder came out, and one of the most beloved actors of all time because of the Iron Man films, it's like no one wants to call him out, no one wants to say anything. And I'm not saying that you have to call him out, because you don't. The movie was fine. I thought it was actually funny myself. But it did have blackface in it. Robert Downey Jr.? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, how dare you, Robert Downey Jr.? You're a racist. You're a bigot. How dare you be the dude disguised as a dude playing another dude? How dare you? That's not what happened, is it? Actually, most people just shrugged it off and said, you know what? If he's going to do blackface, I don't like that guy, and I'm not going to watch this film, and I'm just going to be about my day. People may have seen it as racist, and they didn't give the movie their money. Some people who actually saw the movie gave their critique and said, this is a fine line between racist and making fun of those who are racist, because, if you haven't seen the movie, there's no reason for me to explain that whole critique there. So, at the end of the day, people have the right to just make whatever they want. I mean, if your 4-year-old kid was like, here's my picture, Mom, and they literally drew their black friend with a black crayon instead of a brown one, and then someone be like, actually, that's racist. Actually, hold on, let me get this, and just scribble all over your son's work. You'd be absolutely livid and pissed off, because it's not your son's work anymore. This is somebody who's interjecting from a third party, who probably isn't even relevant or even part of the quote-unquote audience that this was even meant for. And now they're going to inject their special serum into the pasta. And then you have too many chefs in the kitchen cooking spaghetti. You got 14 people's special sauces in there, and now it tastes like ass. And nobody wants it. Because when you try to please everybody, you eventually just piss off the people who you already pleased prior to you trying to please everybody. Oh, it's true. Oh, it's damn true. Now, hopefully this was good elaboration, good talk, good foundation. If you want to discuss more, there's a comment section below this video, and you know exactly what to do, you know exactly how to reach me. I don't get notifications from YouTube, so, I'll check them, every 3 or 4 days, every 2 or 3 days, whatever I can do to fit my work schedule, etc., etc. But Twitter's kicking my ass. But I appreciate it all the same. It's going to be another sleepless night. But it's worth it, ladies and gentlemen, because you know who I am, you know what I do, and you know it's all done for you. Till next time, my dear patients, enjoy.